Welcome to the deep dive. For a lot of people, January, February, March, that means maybe hitting the slopes, uh, planning some spring fishing.
Yeah, getting the gear ready.
Exactly.
Hmm.
But our sources point to this other world, really. For a certain very dedicated group, this time of year is all about shed season.
That's right. And for this deep dive, we really looked at sources trying to understand shed hunting.
Hmm.
What's the real drive? What's the knowledge game?
Because on the surface.
Yeah, it seems kind of strange, right? Just walking for hours, hoping to stumble on a piece of bone.
Right.
But the sources, they promise there's a lot more going on beneath the surface. It's about dedication, hard work.
And we definitely found that. The sources talk about these diehards.
Yeah.
Right after the holidays, they're already thinking about it, waiting for that flash of white.
The bright white glimmer laying in a cut cornfield. That's the image they use.
Yeah, that's the payoff, the start of it all. It's like its own currency in this world.
It is valuable currency, too, because it's earned. It's earned through effort, and that gets right to the heart of the dedication involved. It's not just a walk in the park.
So let's unpack that a bit, that core mindset. The sources link the satisfaction of finding a shed directly to all the work, the investment, the capital even, put into hunting overall. Why is that connection so central?
Well, it validates everything, all the effort from the previous fall, maybe even the whole year. For these hunters, shed hunting isn't some separate hobby.
It's just part of the process, is how one source put it.
Exactly. It's a necessary step. It confirms which deer, especially those mature bucks they were chasing in the fall, actually survived the season and the winter. Finding that shed is proof.
Proof that their management, their scouting, maybe passing on younger deer, it paid off in terms of survival for that target animal.
Right. And the sources really hit on this contrast. They say most people just miss the point.
They see the walking, the searching for bone.
But they don't see the backstory. The year-round commitment, the strategic thinking, the intelligence being gathered right then and there. It validates all that came before.
It gives it meaning.
It really does. And, hey, there's an immediate benefit, too. Found a great little mention in the sources.
Oh, yeah?
Aside from the strategy, shed hunting is apparently a great way to work off all those calories from the Christmas season.
Ah, okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Practical on multiple levels. Get your workout in while you're doing recon.
Pretty much. And that brings us nicely to the next big piece. How this hunt for antlers turns into, really, the ultimate postseason scouting mission.
Yes, this is key. The sources call this postseason scouting very important. They say it could make all the difference in the world for the next hunting season.
Okay, but why? Why is trudging around in, say, February potentially better scouting than using your trail cams or glassing fields back in October? What makes the shed hunt specifically so effective for scouting?
It's about getting boots on the ground in places you normally wouldn't or shouldn't.
Shed hunting forces you into those forgotten about areas, maybe thick bedding areas, sanctuaries you avoid during the season to minimize pressure. It becomes the ultimate scouting mission because you're seeing the land stripped bare, essentially.
No leaves, maybe some snow.
Right. The deer patterns, the travel corridors, they're laid out more clearly, and you have to walk it. You physically learn the terrain.
So because you're moving slow, covering ground that's often more open visually, you become, like the source said, a teacher for the day. You're absorbing details you'd miss otherwise.
Absolutely. And you're looking for more than just the shed itself.
What kind of sign are they really keying in on?
Specific markers. We're talking rubs, scrapes, those really beat down trails. Finding these in winter, maybe connecting a food source to heavy cover, that tells a different story than finding a scrape in October.
Because this winter sign is likely pointing to core areas where they hole up.
Exactly. Core bedding areas, critical late season food sources, places they need to survive.
And it's not just about seeing it. The sources emphasize taking action, right? Marking this stuff down.
Yes. Mark it on your map, your GPS app, whatever you use. But then the crucial part is analyzing it, asking why. Why is that rub line there? Why is that trail taking that specific path through the thicket?
You're trying to piece together the puzzle, figure out their patterns, their path of least resistance.
You're building a strategy for 10 months down the road, based on physical evidence you're gathering right now. Finding a concentration of sign, maybe multiple sheds in one area, that's gold.
And this can lead to genuine breakthroughs, apparently, like fundamentally changing how a hunter understands their own property.
Totally. One source mentioned finding some of their best core areas, even a previously unknown sanctuary, just by following tracks and sign during a shed hunt.
Places they'd maybe walked past for years.
Or actively avoided during the season thinking they weren't important or maybe too sensitive to disturb.
Let's clarify sanctuary here. For a hunter managing property, what does finding a new sanctuary really mean?
Well, it's not just any thick spot. A sanctuary is a core area, usually dense cover, where deer, especially mature bucks, feel secure enough to bed down regularly with minimal human pressure.
So finding one you didn't know existed.
That's huge. It changes everything. You realize, okay, this area needs to be off limits, no stands nearby, minimize all intrusion. Protecting that spot becomes key to keeping mature deer on your property year-round.
Wow. So a simple walk looking for an antler becomes this game changer, like the source said, a management breakthrough. That's a serious return on investment for just walking around.
It really is. The strategic payoff can be immense.
Okay, that strategic side is clear. But let's shift gears a bit. The sources also talk a lot about the emotional payoff. Sometimes, they suggest, the psychological relief outweighs even finding the antler.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point they make. For the really committed hunter, that sense of mind about what deer made it through the year is maybe the biggest takeaway.
Because hunting season ends and there's always uncertainty, right?
Okay.
Especially if you're after a specific buck, a hit list buck, as they call them, and you didn't get him.
Exactly. And maybe he vanished from the train cameras in late November, early December.
Which causes a lot of anxiety, I mean.
Well, for sure. Did he get hurt? Did a neighbor get him? Did you just move off? That not knowing, it eats at you.
But finding that shed.
Finding a fresh shed from that buck. The sources say a hunter can sleep much easier after that. It's confirmation. He made it. He survived the winter.
So the antler itself becomes this piece of tangible proof.
Yeah.
Hard evidence that cameras might have missed. You might have weeks of photos showing nothing.
Right.
But that shed, with its unique characteristics that you recognize, that tells you definitively he's alive and he was likely wintering relatively nearby. It's intelligence gathering that technology alone couldn't provide.
Precisely. And it shifts the whole mindset. You go from worrying, did I lose him for good, to planning, okay, where should I focus my efforts next fall? It renews the excitement.
That psychological reset, I can see how powerful that would be. It fuels the commitment for another year. Okay, so we have the scouting, we have the mental relief, but there's one more element the sources insist should always be a constant.
Yes. Camaraderie.
Comradery. Tell us about that.
This is where it goes beyond just strategy or personal relief and becomes, well, really fulfilling on a different level. The sources describe the core experience as being about family, friends, and a few dogs out enjoying God's beautiful creation.
So the actual goals, finding the shed, figuring out next year's stand location, that's almost secondary. Icing on the cake, one source called it.
Yeah, exactly. The shared experience is the main thing. It's framed as this perfect time, low pressure, to bring your kids, your spouse, your buddies out into the woods, to show them why you do what you do.
Which is interesting because fall hunting can be pretty intense, often solitary, right? Requires quiet, focus.
Very much so. Shed hunting is different. It's relaxed. It opens the door to share that passion in a way that's accessible, enjoyable for others who might not be hardcore hunters themselves.
And that sharing aspect is crucial for kind of passing it on, building that legacy.
Absolutely. It's a chance to instill that love for the outdoors, without the pressure of trying to harvest an animal. It's about discovery, exploration.
There was a great anecdote in one source about that, wasn't there?
Yeah, really powerful. The author recalled being a little kid all decked out in camo running around with an antler in my hand. That feeling, that tangible connection to wildlife in the woods. Finding something hidden.
That sparked his own lifelong passion.
That was the spark. And because you're walking, talking, pointing things out, it's a natural teaching moment about the land, about tracks, about why deer use certain areas. It's conservation education happening organically.
A foundational lesson delivered during essentially a fun walk in the woods.
It builds appreciation. You're connecting with the environment in a very direct sensory way, sharing that creates bonds with people and bonds with the place itself. It ensures that dedication carries forward.
So if we bring this all together for you, the listener,
Yeah.
shed hunting clearly isn't just, a quirky winter pastime.
Not at all. It's this really unique blend. It's highly strategic, practical scouting. We're talking map marking, trail analysis, finding those hidden sanctuaries. At the same time, you're getting real psychological relief, confirming survival, easing that hunter's anxiety, and maybe most importantly,
The bonding.
the bonding. Family, friends, shared experience in the outdoors. It kind of recharges everything for the year ahead.
So we started off asking, why would someone walk for hours just looking for a piece of bone?
Yeah.
And I think the sources give us a pretty clear answer. The value isn't just the antler itself, it's everything that happens on the way to finding it. It's the process.
Right. Think about it. If finding one shed can lead you to discover a whole new sanctuary on your land, totally changing your strategy, what other deep knowledge, what other insights about your own world, whatever your passion is, might be waiting for you if you just commit to looking closely, to searching where others might not bother? That unexpected insight, that might be the real trophy.